It is Monday night, and we are live for round number 6, the halfway point of the Elite Performance Industries Late Model Shootout Series. Tonight, the B&A Signs Bullring 125 from the Las Vegas Bullring. I am Jeff By Jr., joined by Bill Tomer in the ITZR broadcast booth. And Bill, it was looking like it was going to be a short field, and then they started coming in late. Now we got 33 drivers going to try to make it for just 26 spots in tonight's A-Main.
Trailers lined up at the gates, Jeff. That's something you want to see on a Saturday night, right? You pull up to the racetrack and just cars upon trucks trying to get into the speedway. That's what just happened to us right here before we went qualifying. I guess these guys don't feel like they need a ton of practice with the setups Daniel Pope puts together, but we'll see. We're about to go qualifying here at the Bullring.
Yeah, not much time left in practice, and it was Aaron Plemons that went to the top of the board late ahead of Brett Suggs. Corey Bigley led most of practice. He kind of quit practicing midway through this one, so we'll see if Corey's got a little bit more speed in the bank here when we head into qualifying. Hugo Paquette, 4th on the board, Peyton Howell, 5th. And again, we are about to head into Wisconsin Weens and Walleyes qualifying. About 1 minute left in our practice session, and we were watching some of these guys just came out of the strength of field race, including Jackson Lewis, our points leader. Went over, ran the strength of field, finished 3rd, and now he's back, ready to do his battle here in the fixed setup.
Got himself a little bit of practice over there in the strength of field race. A little bit of help. So similar track, I guess they were running. Jeff Bottom Huggy, which they were running at Lanier Speedway. This way it's going to be tonight here at the Bullring. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit harder to. It's pretty hard to pass this place, Jeff. There's a big circle, right? So you're just always turning, and it's hard to get underneath somebody to get the power down. It's gonna be fun to watch these guys try to get around each other tonight.
Not only that, it's probably one of the most awkward driving tracks. It's got just a very interesting line, and it's very easy to start opening up your entry and then allowing people to slip underneath you going into the corner, and it kind of suckers you into leaving the door open going into the corners here.
Yeah, can I say that I am not a fan? Or am I allowed to say that? I am not a fan as a driver of this racetrack. I have not done well here. I cannot figure out the way to be fast around this racetrack, but some of these guys are figuring it out. And like you said, Aaron Plemons sitting quick time on the board right now. And he was pretty late, Jeff. So set that practice effort pretty late in practice.
Yeah, and that is end of practice. So Aaron Plemons, top of the board, just slightly over Brett Suggs. Corey Bigley, it is tight at the top of the board. I mean, they're within thousandths of a second. And of course, you go all the way back to Jonathan Sanford, who's sitting, about 30th place, and he's only a 10th off. So, I mean, it's unbelievable how tight this qualifying session is going to be. 18 drivers going to move on straight from qualifying. 5 bonus points, $5 on the line, courtesy of Wisconsin Weens and Walleyes, and qualifying is going to get underway.
There we go. Seeing cars start to hit the racetrack. We saw Corey Bigley. He was quick in practice. He's out on the racetrack early in the number 28. Craig Tully's made his way back to the speedway, Jeff, in the 50. Haven't seen him in a bit.
Yeah, good to see Tully back. I see Caden Fisher, who's fresh off a late model start at Thunder Road this past weekend. He's on the racetrack. Corey Bigley with a pretty solid lap, 15.087 on his first attempt. He's going to go for a second lap here, but top of the board early.
Yeah, that's a good lap for the guys that... and AJ Rogers goes P1 in the 17.
Yeah, that's a good lap as well. AJ to the top of the board. Josh Cottle, 14.997. Where did that come from?
Get out of
here.
9
all day.
Jinx is on fire, man. He has been putting laps down in both Sarah and ITZR. Guillaume 14 is going to go P4 in the number 13. Now Jackson Lewis, your points leader, going to jump up to P3. Now he gets bumped by Kelsey Rogers, who jumps up to P3 in the 34 car.
Yeah, who has got a 9 left in the tank right now? They're going to need it to upset Josh Cottle here. Peyton Howell runs 2nd in qualifying. Kelsey Rogers 3rd. Jackson Lewis 4th. Hugo Paquette 5th.
See, Kyle Meyer was out there in the 88 car. He goes P14. Brendan R. Lee, he's going to go P7.
Magnum Tate on the racetrack.
Let's see Magnum Tate in a few weeks.
Not a lot of practice. Magnum came in pretty late. A little off the pace there. He ran a 15.244. That's slowest of everybody so far. That's uncharacteristic of Magnum.
Now, if I was watching Magnum's lap and I was Daniel Pope, I'd say stop arcing it in so much.
A little bit better on that one, 113, but that's not going to be good enough to get near the front of this field. Still waiting on Cody Kelly, but I don't think Cody got much practice in either as Dylan Bates takes to the speedway.
Cody Kelly out there in the 75 car. It's the car you're going to want to watch. He's always fast. Cody Kelly, 15.080. That'll put him P11.
Well, that's going to put him in the A main, but he's going to look to improve as Dylan Bates will bump him back a spot as well, and Cody Kelly parks it there.
Dylan Bates goes P9 in the 91 car, 15.072. Brett Suggs was out there, Jeff. He went P7 with a 15.130. Actually, well, 15.042. Sorry about that. That was his second lap. That was 130.
Well, the last guy to lock himself in is going to be Kyle Meyer. The 18th qualifier going to make it in. Josh Cottle going to get that Wisconsin Weeds and Walleyes Quick Time Award. And a heck of a run. Josh Cottle, first 14.9 we saw all day. Throws it down in qualifying. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, good old Jinx there. Just letting us know, hey, I've been super fast since late model stock. I'm going to continue to be that guy. So Jinx goes P1.
Josh second in points coming in tonight, so that's 5 points he's going to gain on Jackson Lewis right there. As we get set to go for the B main tonight, 8 drivers going to move on from this 15-car, 25-lap B main.
It's a lot of race cars, but that's a decent amount of laps for these guys to try to make some headway as they want to try to get to the top 8. Transfer 8 cars into the A main. 18 came from qualifying. 8 go into the A main from this race for a full field of 26 race cars. Starting on your pole in the 50 car. We haven't seen him for a bit. When we talked about him in practice, that is the 50 of Craig Tully. And to his outside, in the 55, it's Josh Parrish.
Starting third in tonight's B main, the 5 machine of Magnum Tate on the outside of him. And car number 15, it's Matt Barkhouse.
Starting in the 5th position, it's Super Zach Onan. And we're waiting for the guy in 6th. I would think is going to jump into the grid here is because he's way up in the point standings right now. I'm going to give him just a second, Jeff. I know we started him a little early. There he is.
There he is.
Starting 6th in the number 12, it's PJ Evans.
Starting 7th in the B main, the 25 of Devin Rogers on the outside of him. And car number 81, it's the ravishing one, Rick Rube.
Colby Bryant rolls off P9 in the number 9, and then to his outside of the familiar 212, it's Jonathan Sanford.
Starting 11th in the B main, the 17 of Reagan Parent on the outside of him. And car number 71, it's Uncle Pete, Peter Fisher.
Josh Kosick rolls off P13 in the number 2, and to his outside another number 2, it's JJ Chansey.
And Elliot Carlson was scheduled to start 15th, got disconnected from the server. We're going to see if he's able to start from pit road. If he can catch a quick yellow, he won't lose any laps here. But Elliot Carlson, his night, he dropped out during qualifying and was able to get back in the server, but just missed the grid. So we'll see if Elliot's able to join us for the B main. Well, here we go. 25 lap B main, 15 cars scheduled to start this one, 14 on the racetrack. 8 going to move on to the feature event. Craig Tully has control of the start with Josh Parrish alongside Magnum Tate, Matt Barkhouse in that second row. Looking for 8 drivers to move on to the B&A Signs 125 later on tonight. Craig Tully going to take us green flag racing.
Down into turn number 1 through turn number 2, we're going to see these guys hunt for the bottom.
Reagan Parent around and with Josh Kosick. That's going to bring out the yellow right off the bat. And that saves Elliot Carlson. Carlson just coming out of the pits, and he's going to get a break here.
Wow, that's exactly what Elliot needed.
Well, it was Josh Kosick and Reagan Parent that got together. And Kosick made a move to the inside there on the opening lap. And
didn't take long, did it?
No, it did not. And this is where the opening, where we talked about early on in this broadcast about the entries to the corner. Reagan Parent takes that wider entry. Kosick takes it down to the apron, and then all of a sudden the 17 car is there.
Sorry, I'm almost chuckling at that. That is an ultra aggressive move from Josh Kosick. Just goes to the apron. Hey, and we're down here. And JJ Chansey nowhere to go, gets in the back of the 2 car, and they both spin. That's why you don't do those kind of things, because that really didn't work out for anybody.
Yeah, that's a early aggressive move there, and I get he's starting deep in this field. He wants to get forward, but sometimes you got to let him shuffle out in front of you a bit, right? Like spread out before you start making moves like that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got 25 laps to pick up, I don't know, 7 spots, I think is what Kostic was looking for, maybe a little bit less. But you just got to let the laps happen. You just can't dive in there and basically cause mayhem lap 1. I think you just have to give it a little bit of time. It's really hard to pass here, but 25 laps, you can pick off 7 cars.
Well, and here's the problem. You cause a caution. That's just time off the board for you to move forward because now we're going to have a single file restart because we didn't complete a lap. And that's time off the clock right there. It's strict 12-minute time limit. That's about 2 minutes they lost. They might not get 25 full laps in now. Is Craig Tolley going to take us green flag racing for a single file restart? We are green flag racing once again. Craig Tolley on the loud pedal with Josh Parrish trying to push that 50.
Here comes Magnum Tate in the 5. He's going to look to the inside of Josh Parrish. That's going to be a battle for second spot. Parrish up the hill in the 55. He's going to have to try to find his way in line. He doesn't cross Magnum Tate over. They'll stay single file, go down to turn number 1.
And some of these drivers up towards the front playing real nice here. Matt Barkhouse let him in line. Zach Onen, no pressure there. Devin Rogers runs in the 7th spot. You got Rick Rube back there in the 8th and final transfer position with Colby Bryant trying to run him down. Reagan Parent's making moves right now as he's underneath the 71 of Peter Fisher. He just got spun, so Reagan trying to get back to where he was. He's breathing along the guy that spun him, Josh Kostic. We're about to have a battle for the lead as Magnum Tate is reeled in Craig Tolley. Tolley out front. Magnum has caught him, so that 5 machine looking real fast. A little loose, though, as he got sideways off turn 4 there. Tolley kind of opened up the door. That's all it took for Magnum Tate to put the nose there. He gets him into turn 3 at the line. Magnum Tate, the new leader of the B main tonight. Oh, and Tolley's going to get in the back of him and turns the 5. Parrish goes around.
Wow.
And Bill, we talk about it every week. Just guys racing aggressive when you don't need to race aggressive.
Wow. I didn't see anything that Magnum did. We'll take a look at that one. You saw it on the broadcast. I didn't see anything that Magnum did to...
Yeah, we were watching it live. It just looks like Tolley just misjudged it a bit. We're center of the corner, gets into the 5, and they just never kind of let go of him.
And good racing through 3 and 4, and I think it's just a misjudge by Craig. Craig's not that kind of driver that would get in the back of somebody. And then Josh Parrish gets spun out of 3rd. Wow, Colby Bryant went around. Jonathan Sanford was caught in that as well as everybody kind of checked up down the back straightaway.
Yeah, that is going to mix up our B main because that is a lot of fast cars that just got collected in that. And as you said, I mean, that's unexpected with Craig Tolley. Last season, one of the drivers that had the fewest amount of incidents in the entire series. So I think, as you said, just kind of misjudged it there. But it's a huge mistake in this B main, and that's going to put those guys at a huge disadvantage as Matt Barkhouse, now our new leader. Zach Oden going to move up to 2nd. PJ Evans 3rd. Devin Rogers 4th. Rick Rube 5th. JJ Chansey 6th. Reagan Parent will restart 7th with Jonathan Sanford 8th.
We talked to some of these drivers before the B main, Jeff, and they did say guys get so aggressive in the B main that all you really have to do is keep your car straight and you have a shot getting into the race no matter where you start.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. Some of these guys were worried about speed. They just didn't have the speed to get in the show, and their goal was get in the B main, keep the car clean, stay out of trouble, and get in that top 8. And right now, some of these guys have done it. Some of these drivers towards the rear of the field, JJ Chansey, Jonathan Sanford, or even Reagan Parent started outside a transfer spot. They are now in one and kind of gifted one at this point, but can they hold on? Matt Barkhouse going to take his green flag racing it once again in the B main. Zach Onen on the outside. Here comes PJ Evans. Evans already alongside Zach Onen at the start-finish line. Can he get there through 1 and 2?
It's fanned out all over 3 wide. Oh, Devin Rogers is going to get a bump from J.J. Chansey down the back straightaway. Devin Rogers in a transfer spot, wants to hang on to it with that 25 car.
Yeah, they ended up 3 wide as Rick Rube, J.J. Chansey, Devin Rogers ended up 3 wide. It got real tight, but everybody holds on. Devin's trying to get down in line. Here comes Reagan Parent. They get together. Parent's going to spin. No caution because he is on the infield. And that is devastating to end for Reagan Parent. Now Elliott Carlson, Magnum Tate, Devin Rogers, they're all hooked together. Parrish is involved.
It's still green now. Parrish spun. Oh, my goodness.
That will trigger a caution there.
Now that's going to be the yellow. Elliott Carlson ended up on the outside.
Yeah, they were 3 wide. Magnum was up the middle. It was what happened was Devin was coming back up on the racetrack after getting collected with Reagan. And he ended up putting the 5 and the 09 3 wide, and they just ran out of room.
Oh, and Josh Parrish just barely missed it. He had Peter Fisher to his inside, so he couldn't get any farther down. Like you called it perfectly, Jeff. Just too many cars in one spot. Take a look and see what else we can see here as they came off of turn number 4. You see Josh Parrish trying to get down, just couldn't do it. Colby Bryant sneaks by on the inside, so does Craig Tully. Magnum Tate gets through. Actually ends up getting collected a little bit, but not too bad. Oh, and then Josh Parrish. I'm not sure. It seems like he's fairly upset with Elliott Carlson. I'm not sure why. Again, we talked about it. You just have to keep your car straight in this B main, and you have an opportunity to transfer. These guys race like it's the last lap every single lap. So all you have to do is keep yourself out of trouble. Right now, a bunch of guys are doing that. PJ Evans, he's one of those. Zach Onen, we talked to him before the race, Jeff. He was one of the guys that said that. Hey, just keep your car straight. Just try to make it through.
Yeah, he's doing what he can right now, but I mean, it's getting sketchy out there. I mean, there's stuff going on all over the racetrack. As Matt Markhouse going to take us back to Green Flag Racing, and time's starting to tick away here. We're getting close to the limit here. We're only working lap 10, so this one's probably not going to get the scheduled 25 laps in. PJ Evans runs second, Zach Onen third. Looking at 8th, we'll update the scoring when they cross the line. We'll know who's in 8th, but I think it might be Devin Rogers at this point.
Yeah, I think it shows Devin Rogers in 8th. Colby Bryant's now in play for a transfer in the 9. He started all the way towards the back. Actually, no, he started 9th, so he's been playing right around the middle of the field.
Well, now Devin's already under attack from Peter Fisher. Fisher going to take a chance here through 1 and 2. Gets to the bottom of Rogers. Magnum Tate gets down from the bottom, so he's going to try to follow Peter Fisher through. Now they're 3 wide down the front straightaway with Kosick and Rick Rube. Peter going to back out of it, but the 71 is sideways. Here comes Devin Rogers fighting back on the outside.
Here comes Magnum Tate up the inside of the 5, and Peter's not going to give him much room. Magnum's not going to lift, and Peter's going to go around in the 71 car.
Colby Bryant collected, so is Jonathan Sanford. Elliott Carlson collected.
Well, that was just a matter of Peter didn't get the runoff in turn number 2 that he wanted. Magnum did, and Peter tried to close the door, and Magnum wasn't going to allow it. Wow, this is absolute mayhem right now.
Yeah, some real aggressive racing there. Magnum really kind of forced the issue. I mean, he's there. The 71 kind of moves down the block. That's a tough one to call.
Well, watching it from the back straightaway down, going down into turn number 3, Jeff, you can see the 71 clearly moves way down the racetrack. Magnum just kept his foot in it. Not sure he was wrong. We'll take a look at it from what they call the tower 3 cam. Yeah, I mean, he's up to the door, Jeff. I don't know what else Magnum's supposed to do there.
Yeah, I think Pete just didn't want him to make that move. I think he's thinking, can you just be a little patient, not put me 3 wide? And he moved down to try to shut the door, but Magnum's already so far alongside of him. But I get it from Fisher's point of view. I mean,
I do too.
You're battling.
You're battling as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, the guy behind you's putting you in a rough spot there. When he pulls 3 wide, puts you in the middle. Well, PJ Evans got out front and Matt
I was gonna
Barkhouse. We
say that.
totally missed that because we're
I was
watching
gonna
the
say
transfer
that.
position.
That's right.
Frank
PJ
Griffin
Evans, the
is
leader.
Frank Griffin in the chat. He was asking no chopper cam. We'll get that Steiner Motorsports chopper cam in at some point tonight.
They're fueling her up, Frank. They're fueling her up.
Well, looks like we're going back to green flag racing. We are over the time limit, so I don't know how many laps we're going to get here as PJ Evans leads this one with Matt Barkhouse, Zach Owen, JJ Chansey, Rick Rube, Josh Kosick in a transfer spot. Then it looks like Devin Rogers and Magnum Tate. Magnum holding on to that 8th and final spot as we come to the green flag. PJ Evans going to set the pace here. He is off and away.
PJ with a good restart. Barkhouse going to drop down in front of Zach Owen. Does so. That battle's going to be on for third. Now the battle for the transfer, and there's more contact towards the middle of the field for the transfer. Craig Tully spins around. The white flag is out.
Green. We are still green. PJ Evans going to win this BMA with Matt Barkhouse, Zach Oden, JJ Chansey, Josh Kosick, Rick Rube, Magnum Tate, and Devin Rogers gets the 8th and final transfer position.
We just have to make sure there wasn't any shenanigans happening with Craig Tully. Tully ended up backwards. Make sure nobody spun anybody out to get into the race.
Yeah, Tully actually started outside the top 8 there, so he got turned around, but it was well after, or he was well outside the transfer position at that point.
So absolute mayhem happening in the B main, but that's the kind of track this is. That's why they call it the Bullring. This kind of racing you're going to see here. I think in the A main that the price of poker won't be through the roof like it was right there, so it won't be quite as bad. Yeah, but that one was interesting.
Yeah. That was rough. that's not the sign we wanted for how this A main's going to go. But 125 laps, a little bit more time. I think it's that time crunch, and it's everybody knows the 25 laps, the time limits on the board that you just need to go right from the get go. And I think that kind of puts the pressure on these guys and makes them drive a little crazy,
little harder than they would normally want to.
So your drivers that aren't going to make the field tonight, let's go through that list right now. The guys that did not transfer out of your A or your B main: Jonathan Sanford, first driver to miss; Josh Parrish, Elliott Carlson, Peter Fisher, Reagan Parent, Craig Tully, and Colby Bryant. And I know we're probably going to see Elliott Carlson tomorrow night in the Challenger Series race, along with Peter Fisher. Reagan Parent should be there. He's running like second in points, so those guys still have a chance to race. We have another B&A sign supply, or signs 125 tomorrow night for the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series, our Tuesday night development series. Bill, the inverts tonight, a big one. I think I lost you, Bill.
That's my fault, Jeff. Sorry about that. I was telling you I do it on random.org, and the numbers came up 979. I do it 3 times to make sure that the invert gets an opportunity to flip around a little bit, and those are your lottery numbers for tonight, 979. So it was either going to be a 9-7 or a 9. And that's the way it went. Third one was a 9. Big invert tonight.
Well, we are getting set to grid for the B&A Signs Bullring 125, and make sure if you're watching on Facebook, there is a link where you can go check out B&A Signs and their Facebook page. Make sure you go give them a like, give them a follow for us. They do a lot of wraps and race car designs and stuff too, so go over there, like some of the ones that you like over there. Hit the like button for them. They would greatly appreciate it. We would greatly appreciate it because, as we always say, support the people that support our hobby, and that's what we like to do here at ITZR as we get set to grid. And Bill, if you want to take row number 1 for tonight's B&A Signs 125.
After your 9-car invert, starting on your pole in the number 91 machine, it is Dylan Bates, and to his outside in the number 17, that's AJ Rogers.
Starting third tonight, car number 33, it's Brett Suggs on the outside of him. And the other 33, it's Hugo Paquette.
And we are still, he's there. That's weird. In the number 7 car, it's your points leader. That's Jackson Lewis starting 5th. And to his outside in the number 34, it's Kelsey Rogers.
Starting 7th tonight in car number 67, it's Aaron Plemons on the outside of him. Number 52, it's Peyton Howe, Baby Shark.
Josh Cottle, your Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes Quick Time Award winner, starting P9 in the number 13 car. And on the outside of him, starting 10th and the number 10, that's Brendan Lee.
Starting 11th in car 13, it's Guillaume 14 on the outside of him. The driver has won 2 races this season in the number 75 machine. It's Cody Kelly.
Eric Tracy rolls off P at 13 in the number 66, and to his outside in the number 32, it's Trevor Edwards.
Starting 15th tonight in car 65, it's Aaron Abendroth on the outside of him. And number 28, it's Corey Bigley.
Starting 17th in the number 18 car, it is Caden Fisher, and to his outside in the number 88, that is Kyle Meyer.
Starting 19th, your B main winner, the 12 of PJ Evans on the outside of him. The 15 car, that is Matt Barkhouse.
Starting 21st in the 31, that is Super Zach Onen, and starting outside of him in the number 2 car, that is JJ Chansey.
Starting 23rd, gonna go to the rear of the field due to a penalty in the TP3D penalty box. The 2 car, Josh Kosick on the outside of him, and car number 81, it'll be the ravishing one, Rick Rube.
Starting 25th, actually he's going to bump up a row in the number 5 machine. You just saw him in the B main. That's Magnum Tate. And to his outside, starting shotgun on the field. In 25, it's Devin Rogers.
Well, here we go, Bill. 26 cars here at the Bullring. Pace car going to do one more lap around for Dylan Bates, AJ Rogers on the front row. Pair of teammates on the front row. But we know how good that Dylan Bates is at these tiny little racetracks. You put him out front. This feels like it could be a Dylan Bates kind of night.
I think there's too much banking for Dylan. No, I'm kidding. It always seems like he really likes the small flat tracks a la Irwindale Inner. But yeah, Dylan Bates knows how to get around the small racetracks, so it's going to be fun to watch him out front in the 91. And AJ Rogers no slouch as well, as he's done a good job of qualifying tonight. They'll be side by side at the green flag.
Yeah, watch those guys behind them, the pair of 33s, former champion on the outside, and Hugo Paquette, Brett Suggs, fresh off a good run at Hickory in the Cars Tour this past week in the Pro Late. As we go green flag racing, the B&A signs 125, and the Bullring is off and away. AJ Rogers did not get a great start, and Brett Suggs is already going for second here.
Brett Suggs up the inside of AJ Rogers. Dylan Bates shot out of a cannon. He is gone out front. Side by side throughout the field, and we already go yellow.
Caden Fisher around in the middle of turn 2. No damage to the 18. Looks like he just got spun around. That's going to be an early caution there. It looked like Caden almost got in the back of Aaron Abendroth, and he had to slam on the brakes, and PJ Evans has no time to react to that.
Just gave him a little smash there.
And luckily for Caden, no damage at all on the 18, so he's just going to spin her around, reset at the rear of the field.
It's that accordion effect, Jeff. It'll get you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Bill, this is going to be what the drivers don't want to see, which is we did not complete a lap, so this is going to set us up for a single file restart. And that means we're going to have 26 cars going green, and they're going to be wrapped all the way around this place.
Let's see if we can see how long that group of folks is, as we'll watch it from the starter stand. Barney hold the yellow flag in the air, and look how long it takes for all those cars to go by.
And I think if you're Dylan Bates, you're gonna be worried because this is gonna put you in lap traffic a little bit sooner than you would have if there was a double file restart, as these guys are gonna get really spread out. We see the single files really spread the field out usually.
We'll wait for him too here.
There he is, Caden Fisher, 26th place running car as he just got spun around.
And here comes Dylan Bates, folks. As that wasn't very long between the last car and the first car.
Well, Bates truck lights are out, so we're going to go back to green flag racing this time by Dylan Bates. Going to have control of this restart single file. It will be interesting to see if he takes it all the way to the wall like we normally see. I mean, you could get a pretty big run, but you don't want to miss turn 1 if you get a huge run down this front straightaway. It's easy to miss the corner here.
Yeah, this is an odd racetrack, right? So you want to be careful. Dylan Bates going to look to take the green flag. his job to start the cars. And there he is up at the wall, Jeff. Let's see how he gets out in turn number 1.
Well, we are off and away, and AJ Rogers already under attack. Brett Suggs made sure he didn't make the move early. That allowed AJ to get kind of back in line here.
Hugo Paquette up the racetrack. Aaron Plemons been fast all day long in practice and qualifying. He's going to take that spot away from Hugo.
Peyton Howe got a little sideways. That kind of stacked up the guys behind him. That was the 13, a G, 14. And he maybe got a little contact from the car behind him.
Big Wreck in 1 and 2, Jeff. Barkhouse was involved. PJ Evans was involved. Zach Owen and Devin Rogers had to stop. I believe JJ Chansey was caught in that one as well.
Yeah, Zach Owen going to have to get put back on the lead lap here because he could not get turned around with the field coming.
Figure out what happened between those drivers. And I think PJ Evans just got in the back of Matthew Barkhouse. And then everybody else was just spin to avoid.
So PJ Evans and Barkhouse get together. Let's see if we can get a better look at it. Almost looked like Barkhouse had to get on the brakes because Corey Bigley was right in front of him.
I think it's that same thing.
Yeah, it's just that inside row just stacked up. The 12 of PJ Evans. And I think PJ might have been the guy that got involved in the first one, right? I think the 12 car was the one that got into Caden as well, so just not managing those stack-ups very well. Well, PJ's night off to a rough start because he got turned around as well as Barkhouse did. Zach Owen, JJ Chansey collected. But again, not much damage.
They're only doing 47 miles an hour through the corners, so it's...
Yeah.
Really haven't had an opportunity to get racing here yet at the Bullring on lap 11.
Well, 2 quick cautions here, and I think we... So little scoring issues there is working on making sure the 31 is on the correct lap. But as I was saying, we got some quick cautions. I don't know if that one's going to be scored a single file restart. I think we're going to go back to double file here. They did manage to get a lap complete.
You are correct. Jeff's lights are out on the pace car. You see the car start to double up.
Shout out to Mason Johnson cheering for the Kellys. Cody Kelly here tonight. Del Mears cheering for SPM. Michaela here for Baby Shark Peyton Howell, as well as Brooklyn for Baby Shark Peyton Howell. Pace truck off the racetrack is here we go. Dylan Bates can take us green flag racing once again.
Wow, Dylan with a great jump. He's going to get AJ Rogers way off the pace. Brett Suggs going to drop or go through all the way to second here, and here comes Jackson Lewis now in the 7. He's going to battle AJ Rogers for third.
Yeah, Jackson on the move as AJ Rogers stuck on the outside once again. Going to lose another spot here. It's the 7 car. It's got it rolling on the inside of the line. Behind them, it's still Aaron Plemons battling with Hugo Paquette. Paquette stuck on the outside once again. You got a pair of black cars lined up there. That's Kelsey Rogers. Then Jinx, the quick qualifier in the 13 machine. That's Josh Cottle.
Hugo doing a pretty good job on the outside right here, Jeff. We haven't seen a car on the outside been able to fight off a car on the bottom, and Hugo able to roll the top. Keep momentum in that 33 car. He's staying right to the outside of Aaron Plemons.
Yeah, it just worries me about how much damage he's doing to the tires hanging out there for so long. But at this point, he doesn't want to sink too far into this field because you don't want to get yourself into a trouble spot in the middle of the race or middle of the field here. So he is trying to hold on, hoping for a caution. Maybe he can get himself into an odd position if there's a restart.
Right, you don't want to fall back. Start falling back, you can see the train behind him. They're all going to go by.
Well, Dylan Bates has opened up his lead. It is now about 0.7 of a second over Brett Suggs. And actually make that almost a full second now at the line. Brett Suggs runs second, Jackson Lewis third, but Jackson is under a lot of pressure from AJ Rogers, who wants to get back into that third spot. Hugo just lost a couple positions there as Kelsey Rogers clears. So does Josh Cottle. Now Hugo just going to back out of it, let Peyton Howell go, and he'll just fall back in the line in the 9th position.
Here comes Trevor Edwards underneath Eric Tracy. Brendan Arlee there as well. That's a battle for your 10th spot. Trevor Edwards moves up to 10th. Brendan Arlee's going to move into 11th. Eric Tracy back to 12th. Here comes Cody Kelly in the 75. And Guillaume 14 in the 13. He's there as well.
Yeah, you watch these guys get stuck on the outside, and you're thinking eventually you'll find a gap, but it's fast car after fast car just coming in the line here. And once you get to the outside, it's the freight train lined up on the inside, right?
Yeah, it's just so hard to get to the bottom, and the top is not as fast. Here comes Magnum Tate in the 5. These are cars that are kind of coming from the back, Jeff. Magnum Tate starting way back there after coming out of the B main. I think he was in the second to last row. He's moved himself all the way up to 14th already. So as long as you can get to the bottom, you can start making passes on cars. Here comes Josh Kosick in the 2.
Well, Josh Cottle just made the move on Kelsey Rogers as well, and he clears Rogers. Here comes Peyton Howell. Now Kelsey going to lose another spot. Here comes Hugo Paquette. Kelsey Rogers now stuck on the outside line.
Kelsey Rogers on. We'll call it the sucker hole, Jeff. The sucker hole is back on the outside in NASCAR. Oh, Trevor Edwards going to make a little bit of contact with Kelsey Rogers coming off of turn number 4. Was able to save it in that 32 car. Hopefully didn't hurt his tires a little bit there with that little bit of a slide. Kelsey Rogers stuck on the outside. The sucker hole in NASCAR is actually the middle on the super speedways. The cars just slide backwards because they just can't find any speed. That's kind of like the top here at the Bullring. The top is just a little bit slower. And like you said, Jeff, you might be doing some damage to your tires if you continue right up there.
Cottle on the move again as he dives underneath Aaron Plemons. Plemons got way up the racetrack. He's going to get down right in front of Howell. Shuts the door, almost gets into the jinx in that 13 machine. Here comes Howell's going to bump the 67, trying to get him back up the racetrack. And now Aaron Plemons is under a fire right now.
A lot of aggressive maneuvering right now. There's only 27 laps into this race. Baby Shark, he put his elbows out. Now he's going to move up the racetrack a little bit. Now Hugo Paquette, that opened the door for him in the 33. Let's see what he tries to do. Aaron Plemons probably not very happy in that 167 as he was bumped around a little bit by Peyton Howell and Josh Cottle. And now he's stuck in the sucker hole as he's stuck on the outside.
Yeah, it just takes one spot, and all of a sudden they just all start driving by you. There goes Trevor Edwards. Plemons trying to get down in front of Cody Kelly. Plemons throws it underneath Trevor Edwards. Makes it stick somehow, but Trevor Edwards going to be a little frustrated by that as he needs to get back to the bottom now.
Yeah, that was a heck of a move by the 67 of Plemons. Showed some speed off of turn number 2. Just barely got in front of Cody Kelly. Even actually made contact with the 75 car and then was able to make the move on Trevor Edwards. Now Trevor Edwards in the position you don't want to be in. I hate to keep calling it the sucker hole, Jeff, but being stuck on the outside, that's really what it is. There's just nowhere to go.
Well, Plemons made that move, and I got to think that Trevor Edwards thought to himself, like, how the heck did I get stuck on the outside here? I was passing cars. Now Cody Kelly's going to go by him. Here comes Brendan Lee in the 10 machine.
It's just what happens, just the weird ways these cars are able to cross over and gain momentum down the straightaways. Cody Kelly makes the pass. Here comes Brendan Lee in the 10. Trevor Edwards still stuck way up in the racetrack in the 32. Here comes Magnum Tate. He's going to try to make the move as well.
Well, Bill, the guy on the move, Josh Cottle, he is up to the 4th position, and he is running down Brett Suggs. And these guys are all catching Dylan Bates. Bates has started to slow the pace down. He had a 1-second lead. It's evaporated. AJ Rogers leads this group that is chasing him down, and they are joined by this 13 machine that is rolling right now.
Well, you talk about confidence, Jeff, and that 13 car is bubbling over with it right now. As Josh Cottle has been on fire ever since switching to this late model stock. We've seen him do well in the super late model, Jeff. We've seen him win a Sarah Super Series event in a super late model, but since he's gotten into this late model stock, he has found his home. He's been on fire in that car, and he's doing it again at night as he was our quick time award winner, and he's moving forward.
Hugo Paquette going around off turn 4 contact as they were racing side by side. I think Hugo is running about 7th position, and he gets turned around. Caution get away here on lap 35.
Looked like it might have been contact with Peyton Howell. So he went through 3 and 4.
Similar deal what we talked about. Peyton Howell opened up that entry. Hugo is there mid-corner, and then they just get together.
Not a lot of room left by the 52 machine. Hugo gets all the way down to the apron, and they still make contact with Hugo's tires on the left side, actually over the inside line. We can get a better.
We talked about it. this track, it invites you to start opening up those corner entries, and what happens when you do? A guy's gonna send it up the inside of you, and Hugo gets there. At that point, I mean, he's not quite ahead of the 52. The 52 is still there. That's a tough one to call.
Yeah, I mean, he sends it in there. And honestly, Peyton Howell had to check up a little bit for Jackson Lewis. The way Jackson entered the corner, Peyton checked up. That gave Hugo a little bit of a run. But I mean, they're door to door. Peyton down the racetrack, gets into the right side of the 33. And I don't think Hugo can be any lower, Jeff, just to determine where he started making the pass there. Almost a racing deal, because I don't know how well Peyton Howell can react to that.
That's kind of where I'm trending with this.
Although there is zero reaction.
Yeah.
It's true. Nothing. Thanks to Stinger Motorsports for the chopper cam. We did use it, Jeff.
Yeah, the Stinger Motorsports chopper cam in the air finally. And as I said, or I was trying to say there, as you said, Hugo, he went around. It was soft contact. And Hugo went around because he's turned that thing as hard left as possible to keep it off of the 52 there. And that's why that car went around so quickly, is Hugo had a lot of left steer in that wheel right there. Well, that's going to reset everything. And if you're AJ Rogers, he just battled his way back up to second. And now he's going to restart on the outside again. And I don't think AJ wants to be restarting second here, as he is falling back into the field every single time, as we are going to get doubled up. Pace car lights are out. Dylan Bates, AJ Rogers, Brett Suggs, now Josh Cottle into the top 4. Jackson Lewis runs 5th. Your points leader, Jackson Lewis, running in 5th. Nice green flag run we had right there as we go back. Double file restart here for Dylan Bates, AJ Rogers, and the B&A signs 125. Green flag racing once again. And Rogers got a better restart, but still Dylan Bates is gone. And now AJ Rogers has to battle with Brett Suggs.
Side by side for that second position. AJ Rogers up the hill just a little bit, unfortunately, for his starting spot. And we go yellow right away.
Zach Owen and JJ Chansey around in turn 2. These double file restarts are causing a lot of trouble, aren't they?
They're terrible, as we cannot get through turn 1. Once we do, we're good.
Yeah, it looks like it started with JJ Chansey and Eric Tracy.
Tracy looks like he just gets into the back of JJ. So we can take a look at, that won't work. Take a look at the overhead camera here.
There's a
JJ just made a big dive because he was able to close some gap, and when he had to brake, Eric just hit him.
Yeah, there was a bit of a stack up as well right in front of JJ Chansey, so JJ has to get on the binders because the 13 machine is slowing down because the 32 is slowing down, and again, just the accordion effect on the bottom.
Just can't be that aggressive. You just can't do it. We see it over and over again, and unfortunately it's generally not the same 2 guys that have it happen to them, or the guy that hits the car in front of them type deal. So it's one guy every other time. That's just what's happening, you know what I mean? It's a different guy every time, so they learn. They won't do it next time, but somebody else has to learn that same lesson, and we'll have another yellow.
Yeah. Well, this is going to set us up for a single file restart this time, which, again, will spread the field out and maybe get us to that green flag run that we just had there. And go back to racing here at the Bullring. I think Devin Rogers somehow managed to stay on the lead lap. He was like coming out of the pits as we went green last time. I don't know how he managed to stay on the lead lap, but he did. So that caution really helped the 25 car out. He's back on pit road trying to repair a little damage to that machine, but we still got 26 cars on the lead lap. This is still anybody's race right now.
Yeah, I saw Devin a little bit earlier. He had some pretty good damage on that 25 car. It looks a whole lot better right now. Zach Onan on the pit lane as well, trying to get some damage to his car fixed. The way the pit lane exits here, Jeff, where you can stay to the inside all the way onto the back straightaway, really helps you when the pace car is closing in on you.
Yeah, this track does kind of help that way, but not a lot of time on pit road because it is such a tiny racetrack. You really got to hit the box and get out really quickly as Dylan Bates going to take his green flag racing once again. Single file restart. Going to take him all the way to the wall and try to get that big run down the front straightaway. Brett Suggs in second this time. We are green flag racing once again. AJ Rogers having to defend from Jackson Lewis. Jackson had to back off there not to get a restart violation.
We've got a car in trouble, Jeff. Guillaume 14 is blown up around the top of the racetrack.
Well, that was weird, and he's going to make it to the pits. We're going to stay green flag racing, but weird situation is the 13's engine just expired.
Yeah, that happened as that Alex McCollum last week as his car blew up. Don't know what happened to Guillaume, but car blew up going down into turn number 1.
Well, Guillaume going to be our first car out of this one. Going to finish 26th tonight, 25 still running. And Brett Suggs is starting to put the pressure to Dylan Bates for the lead here. Dylan out front has led every lap since getting the invert, hitting the invert, starting from the pole. And Brett Suggs trying to get there, but he's going to be under fire from AJ Rogers. And AJ really having a good run tonight. This is the best run we've seen from AJ in quite a while.
It's obviously a track that AJ likes. AJ having a great run in the 17 car. Jackson Lewis, your point leader, up the racetrack. Here he comes, Jinx. Josh Cottle, he's moving up to the 4th position in that 13 car. Aaron Plemons going to follow him. Here comes Peyton Howells. He's going to look to get under Jackson Lewis as well.
Jackson going to shut the door, going to end the bleeding there. Just lost 2 spots. But a good move from Jackson. He's been very savvy this season. Our points leader has stayed out of trouble. He's there every single week at the end of these races, and he just finds a good place on the racetrack to ride it out and have tire at the end, and he has been really solid this season. The other guy right now on the move, Josh Cottle, he's going to try to get underneath AJ Rogers into turn 3. He's to the door. He's there. That car rotated so well on entry. He's going to almost clear AJ down the front straightaway.
Josh Cottle did something into turn 1 that time. Aaron Plemons kind of caught him and gave him a break as he did a little bit of a high entry, low exit in the 13 car. That gave him the run down the back straightaway. But here comes Aaron Plemons. Aaron Plemons in the 67 just going to drive up inside of Josh Cottle, and he'll battle him for 3rd spot.
We talked about it. Cottle opened up the entry into 3. Plemons threw it down there, and that's all it took, and he gets the spot. Now Josh Cottle, all that work, and now he's back into 4th again as Jackson Lewis trying to take away the 5th spot. AJ Rogers now caught on the outside where you don't want to be here.
AJ doing a pretty good job trying to keep the momentum up on that 17 car. We saw Hugo Paquette do this a little while ago. It seems to work for a few laps, Jeff, while they're stacking up a little bit on the bottom. But eventually you just lose it. You see, almost gets sideways off of turn number 4. Here comes Peyton Howell in the bottom in the 52.
Well, they were 3 wide further back in the field with PJ Evans and Kyle Meyer. Now they're still 3 wide as Meyer goes to the bottom. Caden Fisher on the top side. He's going to just have to back out of it and let this one sort itself out.
PJ Evans, pretty good damage.
Trevor
We got
Edwards
Trevor
around.
Edwards around. Oh, and Kyle Meyer's going to get into him into turn 1.
Kyle Meyer just nowhere to go as the 32 machine was around. And it looked like a battle with Kelsey Rogers and Trevor Edwards. Trevor was trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack. And him and Kelsey get hooked together going down in turn 1.
I'm trying to figure out whether or not Kelsey was there. Trevor definitely closed the door going down into turn number 1, but I think he might have been clear, Jeff. That's very close.
Oh.
Maybe not. No, I don't think so.
I mean, he might have heard clear at the start-finish line, just past the start-finish line. But, yeah, that was so tight. The 34 he's there on the inside. The 32 really tried to force the issue there.
Brandon Lee made a nice move down into turn number 3, makes the pass. Kelsey tries to follow him through, and he's there. He's right at that left rear. Trevor said, I'm going to shut the door, even though there was room behind him, Jeff. He didn't have to make that move.
Yeah, that's one of those situations you got to be aware of where the field is. Because if he just lets the 34 go, he just loses 1 spot, rides behind the 34 there. He's got room behind him to slot back in line. I just don't know if you got to be that aggressive right there. Well, Josh Parrish in the chat, did not make tonight's main event, but he is watching the race. Chad Miller here as well, and Lindsey Bates here cheering for the 91.
It's a good night to be cheering for Dylan Bates as he is still out front in this A-main. 62 laps into a 125 lap main event. You know what that means, Jeff? We just hit halfway.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Kyle Meyer has called it a night. He is done. Going to park the 88 machine. Huge damage. I mean, he absolutely T-boned Trevor Edwards there. Nowhere to go. The 88 was making moves. He had just gotten around a couple cars there. Had gotten around PJ Evans, and then all of a sudden, cars in the middle of the racetrack. Well, Bill, this is going to set us up for one of those dreaded double file restarts, and these guys, hopefully, they've got it sorted out. It is going to stack up on the inside, so be aware, be on the brakes, ready to go into turn one as drivers trying to get out of pit road. I see Trevor Edwards, JJ Chansey trying to get off pit road. Looks like Matt Barkhouse might. Oh, that's actually G. Guillaume 14 sitting on pit road still, but it looks like G is out of this one for tonight.
Yeah, that thing blew up. There's no more G for tonight.
Well, here we go. Going back to Green Flag Racing, Dylan Bates. Aaron Plemons now on the outside for the first time on a restart. And Dylan Bates' restarts have been fantastic, and Plemons just didn't get the roll there. That's going to allow Josh Cottle to be there. They're going to make contact. Will Plemons spin? He's going to try to save it. We got trouble.
Oh,
Peyton Howell around.
Caught in it. I just think that was another attempt to shut the door. Let's take a look. Down into turn number one, Cottle to the inside in the 13. We just got to figure out who is where, Jeff.
Well, Cottle's there. I mean, he's on the inside.
Certainly.
And Plemons tried to get down, but I mean, that 13 machine's at your left rear tire. There's nothing he can do.
Just want to look at the art. Yeah, everything looks fine. I think that Plemons just tries to close the door on him. And then a lot of mayhem. You see Peyton Howell get spun to the outside up in turn 2. Cody Kelly was involved. He's got damage on the front of his car. You know what's happened tonight, Jeff?
What? What's that?
The egos have risen to the top.
Well, Trevor Edwards is going to get a break here. He's going to get a lucky dog, be back on the lead lap in the 23rd position.
It doesn't seem like anybody. I mean, there have been a few. I don't want to say everyone, but there are quite a few people that don't want to cut people breaks when it's a situation where probably not a good idea to close the door, or maybe not a good idea to stick your nose in there. Everybody's doing it. It's a short track tonight.
Well, Aaron Plemons got the penalty, going to go to the rear of the field for starting that one. Tough break. He still was going to hold on to it, probably somewhere in the top 10, but unfortunately he was the cause of the yellow. He set that one off, and Peyton Howell got the short end of the stick on that one. And then going to set us up for a single file restart, which is been the way this has been working. We get a double file, and then we immediately go single file. I believe Pace Truck lights are out, so Dylan Bates going to take us Green Flag Racing single file restart. Josh Cottle has now worked his way to second, Jackson Lewis third, Cody Kelly fourth, Brett Suggs into the 5th position.
For you Peyton Howell fans, he's back in 20th now after spinning up. Dylan Bates going to take us to the green flag, single file restart. Jackson Lewis almost made a move there on Josh Cottle. I thought he might be able to get it done down the front straightaway, not able to, so we'll be single file through one and two.
Well, Josh Cottle has come from 9th position, your quick qualifier. Cody Kelly also on the move, started 12th up to 4th. As far as Adobe Mountain Speedway Hard Charger Awards, look back to Josh Kosick, who runs 7th, started 23rd. The guy behind him, Magnum Tate, started 25th. He's running 8th now. Well, Dylan Bates leads this one. He's led all 73 laps so far, but the field has started to line up behind him. That's Josh Cottle, Jackson Lewis, your points leader. Cody Kelly, two-time winner this season in this series, runs 4th. Brett Suggs 5th.
Kelsey Rogers and Josh Kostick are battling in the middle of the field here in the back end of the top 10. Kelsey Rogers able to make the pass on Kostick. Here comes Brendan Lee. He's looking for ninth. Here comes PJ Evans.
Oh, Brandon Lee.
Wow.
Everybody gonna miss him. It was close. Matt Barkhouse just slipped by, but huge hit for Brandon Lee. He got collected in that one. Again, we've seen these cars get hooked in the right rear, and they just fly across the racetrack.
What happened there? Man, oh man, did he hit the wall.
It looked like he got hooked together with Josh Kostick.
We're definitely going to have to look at it from the chopper cam on that one to figure out why.
Yeah, it looked like Kostick, middle of the corner, just comes down.
I think these cars they have Daniel would call it a visual yaw. That's Daniel Pope. And so you can see that the cars in front, the 34, he's hanging out. You can see this. And then you see the 10, his car's going to start hanging out right here. And the 2 has his left front too close to the right rear of the 10, and that just hooks him. They do, Jeff. These cars drive with a little bit of yaw.
Yeah, they do, and that's a situation there. The 2's just so far down the racetrack. You can see the 10. There's those bumps on the inside of the racetrack. I marked the inside line. The 10's not off of those bumps. He's right there on them. And the 2 is just so far down the racetrack. It just hooks the right rear of them.
I mean, just huge hit from the 10.
Once these cars get hooked together in the right rear, it's like it just sends you. Ooh, you saw the 15 of Matt Barkhouse just barely slipped by that one. He was sideways trying to get the car back down the racetrack. Avoid clobbering the 10 of Brandon Lee.
And JJ Chansey basically parked his car between Lee and the wall, just not to hit the 10 car as it was sitting there.
Well, Brandon Lee, I think, is called it a night. He is sitting on pit road. I don't know if that one's going to roll anymore. So 23 cars still on the lead lap. JJ Chansey, the last car on the lead lap. Josh Kostick actually going to go to the rear of the field there for causing that caution. Pace car lights are off, and again, another dreaded double file restart coming at you. Josh Cottle, Dylan Bates on the front row. Bates will have control of this one. Jackson Lewis, Cody Kelly in that second row. Then you got Brett Suggs and AJ Rogers. Magnum Tate back there making moves, already up into the 7th position from 25th tonight. Here we go. Dylan Bates gets to set the pace here. He is off and away. Josh Cottle just didn't get rolling again. He's going to have trouble with Cody Kelly pushing him. That might keep him in front of the 7 of Jackson Lewis.
Now here comes Jackson Lewis to the inside. He's going to look to take the second spot away from Josh Cottle. Cody Kelly on the outside. Here comes Brett Suggs. He's going to move
caution
to the inside. And I'm just going to... Let's just wait until we get a lap in.
Well, Zach Onen, this is the 3rd one he's been involved in, and it looks like he just got a little help coming off turn 2. 52 machine got into him.
I mean,
this wasn't a stack up in the middle of the corner. This is coming off the corner.
It's just, oops. I mean, shark bite. You just, get you once, got you twice, and you're around. Oh, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, at some point, you got to back off the guy. And Peyton Allen going to go to the rear of the field for that contact.
The good news is he has a good song to sing as he slides back to the rear. I'm not singing it.
Well, Cole Cabry in the chat doing some mini sprint testing, I heard. So missed the race tonight. Parker Traves here. Said it's been a minute since he's seen the 91 in the lead. Chad Miller disagreed with the call on Josh Kostick. But we are going to go back to single file restart here. And we've had good runs after the single file restart. So hopefully this will settle them down. Parker Trace says, "See car, don't drive through car."
I mean, I understand what Chad's saying there, and it's an interesting looking call, but we've had to be consistent on that. This car is known for exactly what we just saw. Clearly, the 10 car did not turn himself right. Right? That's just not.
Yeah, it's on these guys to give room, and once you start pinching like that, you got to make sure you don't get down the racetrack into somebody, and you know, it's always gonna be the guy that changes lanes that gets blamed on it.
I think
right?
that's the simplest way to explain it. There's the 10 car's never going to turn right there. So
yeah. Well, pace car going to head off the racetrack. Dylan Bates now with Jackson Lewis behind him. Jackson got around Josh Cottle there, was out ahead of him when the caution waved. So he'll restart second here on this single file restart, lap 86. What happened to Dylan Bates? He just disappeared on us for a second. I might have scared Jackson Lewis a bit.
Good news is Jackson Lewis got a pretty good restart.
So Dylan Bates has led every lap here on lap 88 when they crossed the line, but Jackson Lewis, your points leader, just been lurking in the top 5 all night long. Now the 7 car has turned up the heat, trying to run down Dylan Bates.
I like the line that Jackson Lewis is taking as Dylan Bates continues to have a little bit of a connection issue there in the lead. But Jackson Lewis just a little bit tighter through the corners.
BJ Evans and Kelsey Rogers having a battle for the 9th position.
There comes Jeff. Jackson Lewis was able to get underneath Dylan Bates. Oh, and he gets sideways. Oh. And now contact. Jackson Lewis is around. The yellow is out. Barney throws the yellow even though Jackson Lewis was at the bottom of the racetrack. And Jeff, I think Jackson just got a little bit loose through turns 3 and 4. Got into the door of the 91.
I got a good look at it, and it was like Jackson got on the apron just slightly. It upset that car. It got loose. He had to save it, and he chased it up the racetrack into the side of the 91. And, I mean, that's devastating for your points leader. That's going to be a ton of spots he loses late in this race. That is a lot of points going in Josh Cottle's favor here.
Oh, my goodness. Jeff, have you ever?
No, I mean, that's a heartbreaker. I mean, Jackson's going for it. I mean, you got to say, I mean, he's the points leader, but he still wants to win one because those bonus points in the playoffs are going to matter. I mean, a win is going to get you an extra point going to the playoffs. That could be the difference between making it into the Final Four or not. And Jackson's got to go for it, but again, just got himself in a little bit of trouble there.
And you can see him turning the wheel in the cockpit.
Yeah, it was just that little shot on the apron. Just upset the car so much. It got loose. He chases it up the racetrack, and Dylan Bates is up there.
Shout out to Josh Cottle. He had to stomp the brakes not to get it in Jackson Lewis.
You can see the frustration. Jackson whips that car around, gets it going, but he's got to be a little frustrated with himself there. Just a little mistake going for the lead, and it's going to cost him, what, about 18, 19 positions here? I mean, that's devastating.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to come out in 21st position.
Well, Dylan Bates out front in this one. These cautions might be helping the 91 right now. Tire wear might not be an issue with all the cautions we've had tonight. And now look who's gotten his way to second, Bill. Cody Kelly is now running second. Started 12th tonight. Got a little damage to the nose of that car, but it's still running well.
Quite a bit of damage to the right front of that number 75. But we've seen before, Jeff, this car, while it takes damage and can completely blow up, which we hadn't seen for many, many seasons with the Super Late model, this car still does well with right front damage on it. It's a true short track racer's car here on the iRacing service.
Well, here we go. Dylan Bates, Cody Kelly, Josh Cottle, Brett Suggs, AJ Rogers back in the top 5. Magnum Tate from 25th to 6th now. Lap 96 restart when they cross the line in this 125 lapper for Dylan Bates. He is off and away. Another fantastic restart for him. Here comes Cottle looking for second.
Cottle's going to be for second. Cody Kelly up the hill in the 75. Here comes Josh Cottle on the bottom. Josh Cottle been fast all night long. Your Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes Quick Time Award winner in that 13. He's going to take second back away. Here comes Magnum Tate in the 5. He's going to look to the inside of Cody Kelly.
Eric Tracy's around in turn 4, going to save it, but the caution's going to wave. Double file restarts at it again as Aaron Plemons, Devin Rogers got together, and that stacked everybody up.
Oh my goodness. What
Similar
happened?
deal to what we saw in the B main there. One guy makes the run up the inside, and the other guy's defending, and Aaron Plemons ends up way down the racetrack.
Take a look here. That started with Devin Rogers in the 25 and Aaron Plemons. Yeah, we did see that in the B main. Aaron Plemons just said, nah, man, I'm here. And he was. But shoots it in there. Devin Rogers ends up the racetrack. And I'm confused as to what happens with Matthew Barkhouse here. That's interesting. Let's take a look at it from Barkhouse's view.
Well, the 25 gets contact from the 167. And Devin just kind of comes to a stop there in front of the 15, who just got nowhere to go.
Yeah, true. Ow.
And then Eric Tracy ends up the victim of it. Again, just over aggressive racing right there. I mean, this isn't even near the front. This is the back of the field. I just don't know if that's necessarily needed at that stage of the race, this far back in the field. But
Jeff, don't we talk about certain racetracks that we would consider not ever running again? I submit the Las Vegas Bullring.
Yeah. You know, it's a shame because I like this track, but there needs to be a level of respect to be able to race at these kind of races. And these guys have just, they kind of taken the gloves off tonight. They're just beating each other up.
You've heard the term brain buckets, right?
It's one of those things. The guys get frustrated when there's a lot of cautions because they don't feel like they have time to make moves, and then they start getting crazier, and it just breeds more caution. So we're kind of in a weird cycle right now. As these double file restarts, everybody's trying to get everything they can get, and they're just not letting the race come to them, and it's unfortunately leading to a shorter race.
And they all will agree with it. It's so much fun when you race under green flag conditions. They all have a blast. If there isn't a bunch of yellows, they're all having a good time. They'll talk about it after the race.
Yeah, but last week in Nashville, I mean, we had like a 60-lap green flag run, and everybody loved every second of it. And then they come out here at Vegas, and they're just kind of running each other over. As we go back to green flag racing within 25 laps to go, here we go. Dylan Bates, Josh Cottle on the front row. Bates able to clear Cottle at the line. Now Cottle under attack from Cody Kelly. Cody Kelly going to try to take second away as we are already under caution. Trouble on the back straightaway. JJ Chansey around. Now this one started with Trevor Edwards and Josh Kosick.
I saw some contact. We had the camera angle that showed us some contact down the back straightaway, and I'm like, oh no, they're good. And just,
well, this one,
cars are crashing. Slow down.
It started with Aaron Plemons and Corey Bigley, and Aaron's already alongside the 28 going down to turn 1. Dives underneath Corey Bigley. They set up 3 wide.
Ooh, we might have to look at Aaron Plemons for a bit of a issue there. He may or may not have been next to the car that he was starting behind on the start there. And that's generally what caused the issue, yes?
Yeah, that's Aaron Plemons gonna go to the rear of the field because that is a jump restart. And we've said it last year. We haven't really brought it up this much this season. But we've said if you're in a spot you're not supposed to be because you jump the restart and a wreck happens, that's on you. And that's what happened there. The 167's in a spot he's not supposed to be.
Yeah, he's basically stacks the field up by jumping the start. Throws everybody 3 wide. Cars are having to check up everywhere. It's that patience thing that we talk about. Let the race come to you. Everybody forcing the issue and crash.
Well, lap 107 under caution here as things have kind of gone a little crazy. We're going to have a single file restart, and this might play into Cody Kelly's play here because he's not going to have to fight with anybody on the inside line. He's going to just full focus on Dylan Bates here as we go back to green.
I'll tell you what, Jeff, Dylan Bates has loved every single minute of this. Just keep running to each other, boys. That's all.
Yeah. These cautions
keeps him out front.
Yeah, and he's been so good on the restarts, and nobody's been able to really challenge him as we go green flag racing lap 108 restart for Dylan Bates, Cody Kelly in second, Josh Cottle, Brett Suggs, Magnum Tate into the top 5, and Bates again. He opened up 3 car lanes on Cody Kelly here.
Bates down the back straightaway. Cottle with a nice exit off of turn number 2. Gotta wonder how much that front end is hurting Cody Kelly right now, but he's still doing a great job in second.
Here comes Brett Suggs putting the pressure on Jinx in the 13 machine. Josh Cottle has got the 33 starting to come to life here in the 4th spot.
Battle in the middle of the field. Jeff Caden Fisher just made a move on Aaron Abbott, dropped in the 65. There's Caden Fisher in the 18. He's got damage on that car. Trevor Edwards is involved in that as well. So he's moved up to 16th, and we're going to go yellow once again.
Devin Rogers was around in the middle of 3 and 4.
Oh, this one was going on for a bit here, Jeff. Something happened.
Yeah, the 167, Aaron Plemons got into the back of Devin Rogers coming off turn 2. And then I think the 25 might have had it with the 167.
Oh.
That's not good.
It's not good. I show the initial contact on this one. A little bit of contact from the 67, and we're not going to go back and show the rest of that. But clearly the 25 car, he had his price of poker. He must have went in all in right there, Jeff.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to, cause Devin Rogers to miss some time. That's where that TP3D Designs penalty box comes in, Jeff. That's perfect opportunity to segue into a little bit of a sponsor shout out. The TP3 Designs penalty box. Thank you to TP3 Designs for hosting our penalty box for the season. Check it out on InZoneRacing.com. You can find all the driver penalties under driver info. Everybody that gets in trouble in the series, they get posted on our website with penalties. And that's, at this point, it's like a 1,000-word essay.
Well, that's some of the guys in the chat trying to say mechanical issues for the 25. I don't think so. But nice try as Dylan Bates still leads this one, and we are within 10 to go. So price of poker is going up here. And unfortunately, we just can't get the green flag runs in as these guys have really started to clobber each other. Well, we should get the pace car lights out this time, and we'll go back to green with, 9 to go?
So you're saying like another half hour?
It's going to be like the final 2 minutes of a basketball game, right?
Timeout, yeah.
Well, here we go. Dylan Bates, Cody Kelly. Cody Kelly's got 2 wins this season. Dylan Bates looking for his first. The guys behind him, Josh Cottle in the 13. He's got a win last week. Green flag racing. Dylan Bates is off and away. Kelly got a great restart. He's going to have room to get down in front of Cottle.
Oh, big wreck on the front straightaway,
And
Jeff.
wrecking.
A lot of cars beating and banging around.
Caustic, JJ Chansey, Zach Owen involved. And it looks like it started with Peyton Howell getting in the back of Corey Bigley coming to the green.
Oh, no. Ah. Let's check to see if Corey didn't miss a shift or something. No? Doesn't look like it. Take a look at the chopper cam here.
Ooh, Josh Caustic came in there and that car just clobbered.
They're all going to slide into your living room, folks.
Yeah.
We just heard from Barney on the flag stand, Jeff, and he just says he's retiring because his right arm is tired.
Well, I can tell you, I listen to the radio chatter, and these drivers are heated right now. We got some guys that are just fired up.
It's the Bullring.
Rick Rube, like, kind of coming over as kind of the old veteran, trying to just calm these guys down, like just saying, "Hey, what are you doing? I mean, what is going on right now?" But we're going to get set up for a green-white checkered finish here. Dylan Bates out front with Cody Kelly, Josh Cottle. And these guys that kept their cars clean, like Magnum Tate. I mean, Magnum's come through from 25th to 5th. He doesn't have a scratch on that thing. I mean, it's possible here at the Bullring. We're just seeing a lot of stuff going on in the rear of the field that's just unnecessary. Do we get set? It's going to be a natural green-white checkered build, not one of the first 3 that will allow these guys.
What I've seen, it's going to be hard to knock Dylan Bates off unless he makes some kind of mistake. He goes green, gets on the loud pedal, gets a really good jump over Josh Cottle in 3rd. Cody Kelly pretty close. And now there's going to be a battle for the 3rd spot as Brett Suggs looked to the inside of Josh Cottle, couldn't make the move through 1 and 2. Dylan Bates going to come through 3 and 4, looking for the white flag.
Dylan Bates going to see the white flag this time. Cody Kelly runs 2nd. Big gap back to Josh Cottle in 3rd. Does Cody Kelly have anything for the 91 of Bates?
Jeff, actually, that was 2 to go, Jeff.
2 to go, actually. Okay. Dylan Bates this time going to see the white flag. It's, and we are cautioned. Trouble down the back straightaway. JJ Chansey is around.
Oh, JJ Chansey is that is a junk race car.
It was Caustic and JJ Chansey that get together.
Jeff, under this caution, we're going to take a moment to talk about the penalty system. That's terrible.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, why don't you remove these guys? We have a strict penalty system that's in place. We got to let it play out. We don't make calls mid-race and say, oh, this guy's having a bad night, we remove him. You got to let it play out. But, I mean, we're seeing some stuff that definitely is going to be addressed during the week, and I don't think some of these guys are going to be back.
Josh Caustic just seems to have lost. Oh, he got a lot of the apron through 1 and 2. And his car, very beat. Oh, we haven't seen this damage on a late model stock. Okay, I hate to point this out. The left rear, wow, on Josh Caustic's car is broken.
Yeah.
Someone have to remind me how the geometry works on the back end of a late model stock. But in NASCAR, you'd say that was the broken toe link. But It wasn't like that before. When he had contact from Chansey, it has broken the number 2. Wow.
Well, this is going to set us up for one of 3 green-white checkers if needed. And I believe we didn't complete a lap, so... Oh, I know, it will be a double file. They did complete 1 lap, so double file here for this first green-white checker.
So
Any addition?
Remind me on the penalty system. So if a driver is known to have caused 3 cautions in a race, they would be removed.
Yeah, if they've caused 3 in this race, they would be removed. Nobody has actually gotten to 3.
But that is cumulative as well. So if they cause
so
2 one week and 1 the next week, then they sit out a week.
Yeah, so some of these drivers that might have already had 1 incident, 2 incident, if they've reached 3 after tonight, they'll be parked for a race. If they've reached 4, they'll be parked for 2 races. Of course, we do go back through, review things. If somebody's intentionally done something, they'll be removed from the series. I mean, there's a lot to it. It's just, I don't understand what happened tonight where everybody just came out firing. I don't know. I mean, they're on the chip tonight. Other than that, I don't know what to say. We get set to go back to green flag racing. Dylan Bates, Cody Kelly, green, white, checkered. And here we are off and away. Green, white, checkered finish for Dylan Bates, Cody Kelly. Kelly got a great restart. He is alongside the 91 at the line. He's not going to be there, but can he fight back on the outside? Here comes Cottle. Does Kelly want to try the outside, or does he want to try to drop down in front of Cottle? He's not going to have time to do it.
Kelly fighting on the outside, not able to make the move. Unbelievable.
Rick Rube around in the middle of turn 3. And that was Aaron Plemons involved in that one.
I mean, does it look like the 67 comes off the wall, makes contact with Trevor Edwards, then gets in the back of the 81 simultaneously? It's kind of what it looked like to me. You see the 67 on the outside, comes down the racetrack. And Rick Rube, who've been running pretty decently here. He is behind Caden Fisher in the shots. That would have been him in 12th.
Well, I can tell you that was the 3rd caution for Aaron Plemons, so he has been parked for the night. And I tell you what, I think Rick was trying to talk some of these guys down, and I think he might have put a target on his back there. I think that there might have been a little retaliation there.
Well, we can't prove retaliation, but we know that Aaron Plemons will not be racing next week.
Yeah, reached his 3rd caution of the night, so he will be out at least 1 race, if not more. He's one of the newer comers to the Monday night series, so unfortunately, when you have a bad night and you're still one of the new guys, it's you generally get the hammer a little harder, right?
And all of that brought to you by TP3D Designs. Penalty box sponsor this season, TP3D Designs, and that's what's going to happen going into next week. So all of you that are rooting for someone to get thrown out of this race, it just happened. Everybody cheer and smash the like button for the broadcast, because now we finally have our first ban hammer. Well,
as you said, Reagan Parent saying, I can't wait for tomorrow night's race to go caution free the whole way. I mean, that's hopeful, but those guys have done it before. I mean, sometimes when the late model shootout series has a bad race, the Tuesday night guys just come out and just have a fantastic race. And we get set to go for a 2nd green-white checkered attempt. Dylan Bates, Cody Kelly, Josh Cottle, Brett Suggs, Magnum Tate here.
Dylan Bates with a really nice restart. He's going to get a 2-car length lead down into turn number 1. He wants to hang on to it. Brett Suggs took a peek again on Josh Cottle. Wasn't able to make the move. Dylan Bates hopefully coming around this time to get the white flag instead of the yellow.
Yeah, he wants to see the white flag this time, and he's going to get it this time. Race will finish as Dylan Bates out front of Cody Kelly. Kelly just nowhere within striking distance. It's all Dylan Bates on the back straightaway.
Dylan Bates down into turn number 3 and 4, still hanging on to the lead off of turn number 4. Dylan Bates going to be your BA Science 125 race winner here at the Bullring.
And there we go. Dylan Bates gets the win. Cody Kelly second. Josh Cottle third. Brett Suggs fourth. Magnum Tate fifth. Kelsey Rogers sixth. Hugo Paquette seventh. AJ Rogers eighth. Jackson Lewis ninth. PJ Evans going to come home 10th.
And honestly, it was a mercy killing at that point, Jeff. We just had to finish that one up. But man, Dylan Bates, good job. Whoa, as he almost catches a car as they go by. Dylan Bates going to do some donuts for you here on the front straightaway of the Bullring. That's a happy race car driver right there, Jeff.
Well, Dylan Bates gets the win and kind of a somber mood just because of all the wrecks and stuff tonight. But Dylan Bates, I mean, it's still a huge win. It's a late model shootout series victory for Dylan Bates. And I said it when I saw that 91 was going to be on the pole, he hit the invert. I just thought, this is the type of racetrack that Dylan Bates is so good at it. And this just could be his night.
Well, Dylan Bates runs a pro late model in real life, Jeff, and he runs it at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. I think he needs to get a venue changed, find a smaller racetrack, because when it comes to these small bull rings, these tight racetracks, Irwindale Inter, we've run Nashville Inter, Dylan Bates was good there as well, and here at the bull ring, these are just the tracks that he excels at. He does it again tonight, leads every single lap on his way to the win.
Yeah, a heck of a run tonight, and we'll get a chance to talk to him. And Derek was asking in the chat, what's the difference between tonight and tomorrow? Tonight was our premiere series. Tuesday night is our development series. So the guys that are trying to earn their Monday night invites, this is usually after 6 races, we start calling some up. So tomorrow night will be their chance to impress and try to get that call up. Well, we're going to get a chance to talk to Dylan Bates. And Dylan, it was a rough one, but you started from the pole. You led every single lap. And I said it right from the beginning. This is a racetrack that Dylan Bates is going to be good at. You like the little bull rings, the flat racetracks, and you showed out. You led every single lap tonight. Did you have a good feeling when you saw the invert pole?
Yeah, well, I don't know. The way this car is with saving tires, honestly, starting on the pole made me really nervous because I feel like it's a lot harder to play defense on old tires than it is to play offense. So I was a little nervous about the tire saving, but obviously with all the cautions, that didn't really become too much of a factor. But I did what I could on that first green flag run to save, and I guess it worked out.
Well, Dylan, what is it about the shorter racetracks with you? Jeff and I talked about it before the event. We saw you on the pole, and we're like, hey, this is a Dylan Bates type of racetrack. We both agreed. I kind of joked about there being a little too much banking for you. You seem like the really flat, small ones. But what is it about these short racetracks? You seem to do really well at these little bull rings.
I don't know what it is, man. I just love these small tracks, and I think it just kind of plays back to just I've ran a lot of low horsepower go-karts and pro late models in real life for crate motors. So you really got to arc your entry and just really keep your momentum up. And I think keeping momentum up on the smaller racetracks just really shows out because you're able to just roll and keep the tires on it and just keep your top speed up and drive away. I guess it worked out.
Well, Dylan, a lot of cautions tonight, which meant a lot of restarts, and you had different looks at the restarts, some double file, some single file. It is a little nerve-wracking, though, when you have to go through that many restarts that maybe one time you're going to miss a shift, maybe one time you'll spin the tires. Does it start to wear on you that eventually you feel like maybe something bad's going to happen to you?
Well, I was joking with the guys in Discord. I was like, there's only so many more ways I can restart this race. I'm running out of ideas here. So, yeah, luckily it worked out, and Cody had a little damage. I don't know if maybe that was helping, but that last double file restart, he timed it perfect. And like I said, I was running out of ideas. So luckily we ran out of restarts there and finished her off.
So Dylan, race driving can be a lot like golf, right? It's a lot of times it can be a lot about confidence. When you go out here and win a race against this field and beating all these guys, what does that do to the Dylan Bates headspace moving forward as we continue on through the season?
I guess I'm back, baby, right?
That's right. That's what I'm thinking, right? I mean, you feel pretty good about it. So next week when you come out, it's like, I could do this. I did it last week.
Yeah, that's right. Where are we at next week?
Let me check.
Jeff's better at that than I am.
We are going to South Boston next week.
Okay, all right. Well, there's another small track. I guess I'll guess we'll try to go back to back.
But seriously, does it give you more confidence? Does it boost that level a little bit where you feel like you can get this done? Where sometimes when you're in the middle of the field, you're not running the top 10, you're not running the top 5, or maybe just running the top 10 and not top 5. When you cover them one night, when you get the win, does it seriously boost the ability and make you feel better going into next week?
Oh, absolutely, man. It's like putting a hurricane in your sails on a sailboat or something. I mean, it picks you up a lot. It's worth 2 tenths.
Well, Dylan, you missed a race earlier this season. You're sitting 23rd in points. The drop week's going to kick in. You get the win. You get close to maximum points tonight. Does it feel like maybe you can rally? You can make it into the top 8 now?
Yeah. Definitely I'll keep trying for sure. Start of the season didn't fan out too well. Had to type a few loose ends, and I feel like I got that done. So now we're back racing, and let's go forward from here.
Well, Dylan, we always give everybody an opportunity to talk about their real life racing here in Victory Lane or in the top 3. We know you got a whole lot going on. We know you race in Nashville. Tell us about the Pro Late model and what you got going on in real life.
Yeah, I've been driving the Pro Late model for Joe Ross the last 3-4 years now. I think this weekend we'll be headed to Nashville actually for the Music City 200. So hopefully we carry a little momentum there and have a good run there. Can't thank all those guys with that part of that team, John Christ Racing and Joe Ross and just everybody involved, all my crew guys. It takes a team effort. Actually, Eric Tracy, who races in this series, is my tire guy. So pretty cool to race with him, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, Dylan, before we let you go, is there anybody else you want to thank from the sim racing side? I know you got some of your real life crew guys there. Anybody you want to thank that helps you out doing this back and forth with the fixed setup and the open setup stuff?
Oh, yeah, for sure. All the guys back at Superior Performance Motorsports and 16 XCI, Daniel Pope, Parker Traves, and just all those guys over there, man. We have a blast, and we've been fortunate enough to win a lot of races over the years, and those guys are a great group of guys, and guess let's just keep trying to click them off.
All right, Dylan, congratulations. First win of the season, and now you're putting yourself in a place where you might make it in the top 8. It's gonna be tight these last couple of weeks, and we can't wait to see if you can make a charge to get into the playoffs.
Yes, sir. I'll do my best. Make it interesting.
All right, congratulations. Good run tonight.
Thank you.
Well, joining us now, our third place finisher, Josh Cottle, in the booth. And Josh, it was a rough one. You set quick time. You got up into the top 5 quickly, and it just seemed like you guys could never quite get into a rhythm. The double file restarts, it just every time you got up to second, it shuffled you back.
Yeah, man, that was rough. After all, like at the beginning, I felt like I was kind of pushing it hard. I wasn't trying to burn my stuff up though. I just kind of got through the field quickly, and then after all the yellows, it became so tight. I mean, I couldn't, like, I was turning full 90 degrees, and it still wouldn't rotate. I was having to put my left sides on the apron just to get the thing to rotate. I just didn't need all them cautions. It really hurt me there.
Well, you were digging there in the middle of that, Josh. We were both looking at it, going, "Here comes Cottle. He's been fast all night long." But man, talk about this late model stock for you. You have taken it to a new level. You're one of the guys that everybody has to look out for every single week. How does that feel when guys like Jeff and I are sitting in the booth going, "Look out! Here comes Cottle."
Yeah, man. I feel like I've definitely started to figure this thing out with running more official races here and there. But honestly, the car still needs a lot of work. It has way too much grip. I've started that was my struggle point in the beginning, was just like having to figure out when to go, when to save tires. I feel like I've started to gotten better with that. But I feel like after running all these races, these leagues and y'all's league and Sara, I feel like I've definitely started getting better with it.
Well, Josh, you've been around this for a while, and I don't know if we've ever seen a race that kind of played out like that. I mean, it was a rough one tonight, and it seems like starting with the Sarah race last week, all of a sudden these guys have gotten very, very aggressive. Is it just people getting too comfortable with the car all of a sudden? Like, what is going on where everybody's just really starting to really get really aggressive?
Honestly, I don't really know. It might be because of the grip. I mean, the tire wear is really good some places, and then it's just not enough at others. So I think people have started to realize that and just push it really hard, be super aggressive. But like when we have a good track that actually has tire wear, it's a lot of fun.
See, I think he's hitting on it perfectly, Josh. I think you've nailed it, hit the nail on the head. That I think that if you don't have tire wear at some of these racetracks, it's been the shorter racetracks that don't wear the tires out enough over 125 laps. These guys are just going as hard as they possibly can. So I think you're nailing that one. So with that being said, what does the outlook look like next week for South Boston? What are your expectations of the race there? Will we see tire wear? Will we see some more patience for some of these drivers?
I hope so, man. I know South Boston is one of the tracks that actually wear tires quite a lot. I mean, in SAR, we had to save for like 100 laps just to make it to the end, and we still blew tires. So I'm really hopeful for that. And I know y'all will do your best getting this all sorted out so we can actually have some runs next week, and I'm very excited for that.
Well, Josh, before we let you get out of here, is there anybody you want to thank? I know you got a lot of guys with the shop and all of the stuff you guys are doing with the open setup and elite performance. I know you got a lot going on. There's got to be people you want to thank.
Of course, man. But first of all, I want to thank y'all for doing this league, this broadcast. I know y'all get it better next week. I mean, I have a lot of fun with this league personally. I've been enjoying this new car in the longer races versus just the officials. But I know y'all get it better, and I'm very excited for Sobo. But thank you to the shop and Elite Performance, obviously, all them guys. I mean, I've been having so much fun with the open side, just everything, running races with those guys. They're an awesome group of people. Check them out. And yeah, thank you to Call Captures on Facebook as well. That'll be it.
All right, Josh. Well, congratulations. It's still a good points run for you. You came in second tonight. You gained some points, especially with that hard charge reward. You picked up $5. So all in all, still a good night for you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, Josh. We'll see you next week at South Boston.
See y'all.
Well, Bill, we're not going to get a chance to talk to Cody Kelly. He had to run real life duties with the race car. So we're going to let him get out of here and not going to get to talk to our second place finisher, Cody Kelly. But still a good run for Cody. He came back. He was just outside the top 8, and this is going to help put him into possibly a playoff position. So glad that Cody could at least make it for the race. If everybody that hung out with us all night long on Facebook, I know it was a rough one. We're going to do our best to try to get things back under control tomorrow night. I think me and Bill are about to go off the air and hit these guys with a hammer, right? I mean,
wow,
I don't know.
Not quite that violent. A virtual hammer.
Virtual hammer. We're going to have a good, I think it's about time Daniel Pope has one of those pet talks on Tuesday night where, he just calms everybody down,
Pope
gives
talks.
them the what
We
for.
call Pope talks.
The Pope talks. We're hoping for a better race tomorrow night, the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series. We still want to thank everybody that supports the series, all the drivers, the teams, the sponsors, B&A Signs, County Road Custom Elite Performance Motorsport, or Elite Performance Industries. You guys are so awesome. Thank you to everybody that hangs out on Facebook and watches these races. Sometimes you just have bad nights, right? And, it's still fun whenever we get to race. It's still a good time, and we do appreciate all the support and all the people that want to get this fixed, because I see a lot of people up there built in the Discord that are ready to talk to us, and I know that there's some hurt feelings and there's some people upset, but at the end of the day, these guys just want a good place to race, and that's what they want to figure out, right?
It's passion. That's why they're upset. Is because they take it. They take it passionately. They're very invested in everything that's going on, which we 100% appreciate. And we want the criticism. We want to hear what they think we're doing right, what they think we're doing wrong. Mainly it's what we're doing wrong. But but it's because we all have passion for the sport. That's why we're here, and of course we'll have that conversation. So bad night tonight. We'll make it better for next week, and we'll listen to what everybody has to say.
Again, we'll be back tomorrow night with the County Road Custom Late Model Challenger Series, another B&A Signs 125 from the Bullring. And then, of course, Thursday night with Sarah. We'll get that information tomorrow night on what to look forward to with Sarah coming up. And then, again, Monday night, we'll be back in action next week, South Boston. The Toyota Volkswagen of Worcester 125s from South Boston Speedway will be live 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Twitch. Thank you again to everybody that hung out with us all night long. We will see you next week.